historic levels of rain as it feels like there's no end in sight.
People are calling her LA's Mom Donnie. We spoke to LA's newest candidate for mayor.
And just hours from now, the House will vote on whether to release the Epstein files. We'll hear from one of his accusers.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Record rainfall continues to pour down on Los Angeles. Hi, I'm Connor Wyckoff.
And I'm Andriana Yatsyshyn. How's the weather at USC Village looking like right now, Dimitri?
I'm live here in the Village where, if it wasn't enough that we had the atmospheric river yesterday, now we have the storm today, and we have another storm coming later this week. This is officially the wettest November since 1985. While USC's campus received a lot of rain, the areas of most concern right now are burn areas like the Palisades and Altadena. I spoke to an expert here at USC who explained why this is.
We have had some really bad forest fires in January. And where there were fires, of course, the vegetation burned and there's nothing holding the slopes together. So when it rains really hard, like it has been for the last 1 or 2 days, and as there's some more rain on the way, we can worry about those slopes, and that loose soil can just get wet and waterlogged and heavy and flow off the mountainsides really fast.
Over the weekend, USC and downtown LA had rainfalls totaling 2.82 inches. And for some perspective there, Beverly Hills had 2.69 inches, Southgate had 2.44, and Culver City had 2.3. That's according to the National Weather Service.
It's just kind of been like a nuisance, I'd say. It takes a lot more time to plan ahead to, what outfit I need to wear and to make sure I stay dry, especially going to work.
Definitely changing up my outfits a lot. I've had to layer clothes a lot more. I used to always just rock a t-shirt all the time, but now I've had to adjust.
I don't know how to function with an umbrella, to be honest, so that's been really difficult for me to even remember how to use it. I asked one of my friends from Seattle because it rains there a lot. We were walking to class together and I couldn't figure out how to use my umbrella.
USC is no longer at risk of flooding, but other areas throughout Southern California like Burbank, Malibu, and Santa Barbara are still under high advisory. So that's all from here.
Thanks so much, Dimitri. The House of Representatives is expected to vote on a bill tomorrow that would release more of the Epstein files. President Trump expressed his support of the bill yesterday.
Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw a strike because I was president.
Trump reversed his stance in the past few days. Today, one Epstein accuser also urged Congress to release the files and for the DOJ to continue its investigation. One accuser and her LA attorney talked today about her case.
But in terms of the survivors, they've always wanted truth and transparency. They would like to see all of the files released that the Department of Justice has.
He wanted to see my portfolio, and so it was going well until he said, "Come closer to me." And then he said, "Let me manhandle you," which I've never heard that word, and it's very upsetting because he said that to me. I've never forgotten it. And he wanted to manhandle me and start touching my buttocks, my stomach, my hips and thighs, and my chest, and it just was becoming apparent that I just felt like I was going to just involved in a situation I didn't want to be in.
According to a recent poll from Marist University, 77% of Americans want the Epstein files to be released. A politics professor weighed in on how this could impact Trump's presidency.
I think Trump decided to basically cut his losses and try to get beyond this really bad story for him. My guess is it's probably politically going to be helpful, at least in the medium and long run, for Republicans to release them, because if they're not released, then the story is just going to continue to bubble up and be a lightning rod.
Even if the bill passes through the House on Tuesday, it might still face opposition from Senate Republicans.
Thousands of UC workers are striking at campuses and medical centers across the state. Reporter Anthony Bottino has more on the rallies.
rain or shine, hundreds of UC workers and medical staff rallied at UCLA, demanding better contracts after months of negotiation. They joined nearly 65,000 UC workers striking across the state.
We're the ones that run the hospital. We're the ones that bring all of the money that comes into the hospital for the services that we provide. And it's frustrating that that just goes back to administration.
The UC's largest employee union president said, quote, "Our members have had enough of UC's serial elitism, tone deafness, and blatant disrespect for workers who make this institution run." While the rally is about resolving financial and economic strain, it's also simply about helping people survive day-to-day life.
Because it is people you're affecting, and it's kind of hard to see that you're talking about prioritizing money or certain things like that instead of human lives.
In an email, UCLA said, quote, "Despite UC's continued outreach, the union has not presented any substantive counterproposals since 2025. Absent the union's engagement, the university cannot engage in meaningful negotiations for this critical workforce." Protesters see it differently.
Our members are the ones who are working around the clock every single day, and the university knows that they have failed to really address what they need. You know, our members have broken down in tears at the bargaining table.
They plan to continue the strike through tomorrow night. For Annenberg Media, I'm Anthony Bottino.
The Los Angeles mayoral election shakes up as a new young candidate enters the race. Politics anchor Jose Trejo had a chance to speak with her today.
Rae Huang, a 43-year-old community organizer, is challenging Los Angeles Mayor Curran. She's hoping to repeat Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York City here in LA. Huang is a political newcomer. She was a community organizer on housing issues and Presbyterian minister. She's also a member of the Democratic Socialists of America.
We have a houselessness crisis. We have a affordable housing crisis. How you fix homelessness is by creating homes, not by doing short-term fixes, not band-aid solutions. When you make buses free and available and you create the infrastructure for it, more people will use it. There's less traffic on the streets, and it also makes our streets safer. I am a socialist in terms of my political perspective of the kind of system I think we need for everybody to not just survive but thrive. Look, if something is working and it's actually lowering poverty and it's helping people rise up and thrive, then we should do that here.
Other declared candidates in the race against incumbent Curran are former LAUSD Superintendent Austin Buettner and civil engineer Asad Al-Najjar. The election takes place next June.
Interim USC President Byung-Soo Kim was a special guest at the University Club today. He talked about strengthening connections within the Trojan community. At the event, he spoke about the importance of transparency, honesty, and maintaining open communication across campus. Kim told the crowd he has made a lot of difficult decisions for the greater good of the university.
I want whatever is best for the university. My job is to make as many hard, painful decisions as need to be made to set this university up for long-term success. Open communication and transparency and engagement, good, bad, and ugly, is the foundation for rebuilding long-term trust.
Interim President Byung-Soo Kim underscored the importance of open communication and a collaborative future.
Waymo, the self-driving car service, has expanded its services to highways and freeways across Los Angeles, Phoenix, and the Bay Area.
I usually trust that type of technology and I want to trust it, but I feel like this move is really quick for the amount of time that Waymo has been around.
Obviously, if the testing has been done and it's safe, then roll it out. Why not?
How reliant are we going to be on these technologies, and how really safe and reliable can we make them?
The car service has been operating only on city streets, waiting for the technology to be safe enough to travel at freeway speeds. Waymo co-CEO Dimitri says, quote, "This has been a long time in the making."
Visitors
I'd think of this not as a new technology as much as a different type of taxi or a different type of Uber or Lyft. And I think the big impacts in the long term are going to depend on the pricing model.
If one is going to want to move efficiently around Los Angeles or any of these cities, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, on and on, you need to be able to operate on freeways.
According to the National Library of Medicine, automated driving systems like Waymo's experience 80% fewer crashes when compared to human drivers.
For the first time, some South LA residents are getting access to free Wi-Fi. The story straight ahead.
And the rain isn't done quite just yet. More on this week's weather next.
And find out how to revive your wardrobe without having to buy any new clothes.
A South LA neighborhood is finally getting connected. Annenberg Media's Kate Stuzin reports on a new city program turning streetlights into free Wi-Fi hotspots.
It's hard to believe there are parts of Los Angeles without Wi-Fi, but here in Crenshaw, that's been the reality for years. Until now.
South LA isn't the only place that suffers from digital inequity. There's no physical or financial excuse. It's just, somebody thought it was okay to overlook people and they did it. And that, frankly, is embarrassing, sad, and boring.
Last month, city workers installed 1.5 miles of underground fiber optic cables along existing lamp posts, establishing the Wi-Fi network. A survey conducted during the pandemic by the nonprofit Destination Crenshaw found that 10% of people in Crenshaw had no internet access.
Digital equity became a much larger issue in Los Angeles when we noticed that people were driving to McDonald's parking lots to get on to free Wi-Fi.
At the Crenshaw Farmers Market, vendors are already feeling the benefits of the new Wi-Fi initiative. From processing credit card payments to live streaming, reliable connectivity makes a real difference for their businesses.
When you're able to transact quickly, then you can take more people. Overall, it's better for business. It definitely helps the line move faster. People are looking for us. We can post where we're at and put it online.
The pilot testing for the free Wi-Fi network happened here at the Crenshaw Farmers Market, and it's more packed than ever.
Very community centered, and so a lot of people will come here and do their homework on the back patio. And so that's been really nice to be able to continue to embrace the community centeredness in this particular market by having that Wi-Fi access.
The market is just the first example of how Wi-Fi can empower a community and benefit the economy. The city says LA 28 will use the same fiber optic cable network for event streaming. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kate Stuzin.
Do you have any clothes laying around that need fixing? Well, now you can head to the USC Sustainability Hub for Mend It Mondays and learn how to fix, hem, and stitch.
Mend It Mondays is my favorite. I love sewing. It brings in people from all over
the university and all of our majors, you know, because who doesn't need to fix a button sometimes?
This is the third Mend It Monday workshop, and today, USC students learned how to sew buttons. I'll take you on a field trip where they fixed my jacket.
What are you doing right now?
So now I'm helping Andriana. She thrifted this jacket, but it was missing a button. And so we have some buttons, and then I just kind of sewed on a little replacement. So I put this sewing needle here, and the reason I am is because these others have a little bit of slack for like a nicer jacket, so it's not like too tight. And so I feel like it looks so good. It adds like a little pop of variety. Cool.
And my blazer looks good as new. So check out their Instagram at green.usc to get updates on future events.
Dimitri, you told us all about the crazy rain this past weekend, but it's supposed to continue on. Can you tell us what we should look for this week?
That's right, Connor. I'm still out here in the village where the producers decided I should come for the day, so I'm out here soaking. But I'm happy to report that the weather will clear up on Wednesday, but we will be seeing more rain out later in the week. The storm just can't seem to stop. But, you know, I can appreciate the rain once in a while because I do love wearing a rain jacket. And you know what I also love? The feeling of renewal. You know, it's like a baptism, okay? I enjoy that. So that's all for here, and I love you for watching today, and I'll see you next time on ATVN. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Dimitri. I hope you're staying dry out there, but we know one person who was soaking it all in. Lincoln Riley was singing in the rain this past weekend as the Trojans took down the Iowa Hawkeyes in a 26-21 win at the Coliseum. USC women's basketball suffers their first loss of the season Saturday night to the hands of the other USC. And Jude was able to talk to a man amongst greatness with the most unguardable shot in NBA history and how he is now giving back to his community. All that and more coming up.
USG election season has kicked off.
They have a huge game on Thursday, right?
Huge.
Prior to that, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
And a warning tonight about a massive storm heading our way.
We're live here at the Galen Center. What would y'all do if you had $2.5 million?
Music, art, and women empowerment.
And she put her stamp on Big Ten history. Over.
Those are men swimming like fish.
Thanks for watching.
Annabelle TV News.
You never miss an episode.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
So, live from the Halo is USC Annenberg's take on NPR's Tiny Desk concerts. This is like a platform for USC students and adjunct students just to perform and play their music for an audience.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Kyle Loquet.
And I'm Jude Ocanas.
Think USC can't play Big Ten football? Well, you might want to think again because the shirts in the student section weren't the only things that were going off this past weekend as Lincoln Riley and the Trojans beat the Iowa Hawkeyes in a downpour showdown. After a slow start in the first half, the Trojans came out hot in the second with Mackay picking the Iowa defense apart. Lemon loaded the stat sheet with 153 receiving yards on 10 receptions with 1 touchdown. Then something inevitable happened from Thanos himself, a.k.a. freshman defensive tackle Jakeem Stewart, who collected an interception like another Infinity Stone right out of a Marvel movie. The Trojans are now 8-2 on the season and 6-1 in the Big Ten. Their win over the Hawkeyes moved them up 1 spot in the AP Top 25, and they are now sitting at number 16. Okay, Jude, so we know what that win meant for the Trojans, and we know they're about to head back into Autzen Stadium this week against the Oregon Ducks. How do you think that this team is going to perform this week against the Oregon Ducks?
Well, it's quite simple, Kyle. Lincoln Riley has to coach the best game he has ever had
at USC so far. He is 1-6 in ranked road games. That's terrible. So if USC wants a chance at the college football playoffs, you got to go up to Autzen and you got to beat them by dominating the time of possession and getting the ball to your playmakers. Yeah. Makai Lemon, back-to-back weeks with 10-plus receptions. Those are the playmakers that deserve the ball in big games.
I agree with you. You got to come out firing. You got to come out hot. You can't come out like you did against Iowa because they were a little slow, ended up being down 21-10 at halftime. We're able to come back and pull through. But against this Oregon team, they're 9-1 right now, and they're 6-1 in the Big Ten, which is the same record as USC. So if you want to beat this team, you just got to hit them hard, hit them quick, because if you slow down, they're gonna counter as soon as possible. So we know the run game has also been an issue, but we'll see how that happens. But the Trojans will now look to keep their win streak alive, but also their playoff hopes as they travel up north to play Oregon this Saturday.
The women of Troy fell short in the inaugural Reals SC battle between number 2 South Carolina, dropping their first game of the season. South Carolina came out the gate hot, dominating in the paint. While USC found the shooting touch in the second quarter, it wasn't enough to keep up with the Gamecocks as they got outscored 37-22 in the second half. Here's what head coach Lindsey Gottlieb said after the game.
We want these kinds of games, to teach us where we need to be and where we need to get to. Credit South Carolina for doing what they do really well, things to build on, but obviously we're not yet where we need to be, but I think this game will really help us get there in an expedited fashion, and excited about, what's next for us, but disappointed, with the fact that we couldn't hold on and be a little bit more competitive down the stretch tonight.
The women of Troy will need to have the mind of a goldfish and quickly move their attention to another ranked opponent. USC travels to South Bend this Friday for a rematch versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And be sure to tune into ATVN's first ever halftime report during the game. Just across the town, USC men's basketball notched their third win against Illinois State behind a stellar performance from junior guard Rodney Rice. With 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, Rice became just the second Trojan in history to record a triple-double. But hearts were warm on Monday morning in the cold weather as LA Laker legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar spent the morning at Robert F. Kennedy campus passing out free shoes and bags to 5th and 6th graders.
And what we want to do is we want to start with 4th, 5th, and 6th graders because they're young enough to spark that curiosity to find out what can they do. I mean, maybe they're going to design a basketball court.
The Skyhook Foundation, in collaboration with Adidas, gifted 5,000 total pairs of shoes and bags to schools in Southern California.
See kids get excited about something new in their life that's going to expand it. It's going to give them some ideas that maybe they never thought about before. That's what I want to do. I just want to give them an idea about what they can achieve and where they can go to get the knowledge to achieve those things.
The day for kids was not just about getting new swag, but a chance to hear from Kareem himself. His messaging was concise but clear, as he stated the importance of being curious and always learning in or out of the classroom. From faculty to students, hearts were full as Monday was just another example of Kareem's mission to inspiring the next generation.
Well, that's all we have for sports. I'm Kyle Loquet.
And I'm Jude Ocanas. Let's send it over to Andriana to talk about the coffee craze that has hit USC. What's brewing, Andriana?
Thank you, Jude. And it's not just rain dripping down today. Learn how Drip Daddy is brewing up coffee at the USC Village. USC staple Drip Daddy is known for its premium coffee and streetwear.
And Drip Daddy founder Alex Amari is usually found serving coffee in his truck, but right now he's here to talk with us. Alex,
How's it going, guys?
Hello, what's up? Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And just to start off conversation today, why did you decide to bring Drip Daddy to USC of all colleges?
You know, my family's had a long history here serving the Trojan community at the 901 bar. And once I opened, I had a tip from another coffee truck that used to park here. And they said, hey, come park here on this spot. And, you know, I started one day and we haven't stopped since.
And obviously having a truck comes with challenges. So what kind of challenges have you faced while being here at USC?
We have had nearly every challenge a food truck could have since opening the business. Some of them have been electrical, plumbing, but mainly parking problems, and especially days like today with the rain.
Definitely.
That didn't stop many people from not getting your coffee, though, today. So it's good
I know,
news.
Andriana and I were saying we saw so many students with the coffee still, despite rain or shine. And I feel like food trucks are much more prominent than coffee shops. So it's so interesting seeing Drip Daddy here. How do you guys choose the products you serve, whether it's the flavors you provide for students, lattes, espressos?
So we do everything organic. We make everything in-house, and I wanted to make sure we had a full menu for everybody, so that way there's, you know, if you like cold brew, we have an awesome cold brew option. If you love drip coffee, we have a great pour over. And, you know, our sauces and syrups, that's kind of what we're known for. And, you know, the community here has really supported that. And we love serving organic products to you guys.
I will say I do highly recommend the shaken espresso to anybody that's watching and wants to try. But obviously the other big question on everyone's mind is the name. What inspired Drip Daddy?
So originally it was supposed to be a business called Coffee Daddy, and I was going to put it here in West Hollywood. But I was in my house one day and I had a cup of drip coffee with a friend of mine, and we kind of just came up with it together, and it stuck ever since. But we were supposed to be a brick and mortar, and I pivoted towards the truck, and I found out I couldn't park in West Hollywood. So that's kind of how it led me to USC as well.
Well, it's definitely a name that sticks, and we hope to see you stick around for a while at USC. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you so much for watching Annenberg TV News tonight. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Andriana Yatsyshyn.
And I'm Connor Wyckoff. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.